What's going on, everybody? Soliaker here, and I just wanted to tell you, Clearwater is trying to create, or they did create, that secret meeting where you get to use your free speech. It's on April 29th. Links are in the description. But I'm going to tell you right now, this meeting that they just had, there was a lot of people pissed off. A lot. I've condensed this video down to the shortest that I can. And I'm giving you all the pertinent people and all the things. And when you hear about what they're doing, you're going to be like, what the heck? And then, on top of it, the last part of the whole video, and trust me, there's going to be multiple parts to this. Well, I used to give Ryan Cotton a lot of praise, but not anymore. Not anymore. Somehow, some way, I'm not even going to say, this is just my opinion. Somehow, some way, Scientology got into his back pocket, and you're going to see in this video. So let's get right into it. Don't forget, hit that like, share, and that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And shame on you, Cotton. Shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Mayor, if I may, I want to take a moment to provide the context ahead of this discussion on this item. Given the complexity and the sensitivity of these negotiations, if you please just allow me time to provide some background on the steps that got us here today.
Now, the woman that's speaking, her name is Jennifer Poirrier, and she's the one that's been in cahoots with David Miscavige from Scientology. Well, a little fun fact, this supposedly condo that she lives in with her husband, Adam Poirrier, and Jennifer Poirrier, and her daughter, Kaylee Valdez, yeah, all them live in a one-bedroom, 800 square foot, and if they do, they do. It's just funny that the people that sold it to them, they're huge Scientology donors, and they're huge, like, the highest level of a Scientologist that you can get is like a something 8, a ETO8 or something like that. The woman that owns the building that Jennifer Poirrier lives in, that's who owns the building, and then the donors are the ones that sold it to her and her daughter, supposedly, allegedly.
As you know, the Church of Scientology has been planning for several years to build a large event hall in the property just south of the Flag building. As part of their project approval process, in December, they submitted a vacation right-of-way for a one-block portion of Garden Avenue. The city is required to respond to that vacation request. Upon this review by legal, it was determined that by operation of law, the city has title to that parcel, and in order to vacate the right-of-way, the city would have to sell or trade the property that is a reflection of market value. The city is also required to post that property for 30 days in order to determine if any other interest exists. As such, the City Council unanimously directed that I engage with the negotiations with the Church of Scientology regarding the purchase and sale of this portion of Garden Avenue. Since then, I worked individually with council to seek input and learn their priorities before opening negotiations. During negotiations, I advocated the priorities of every council member. Unfortunately, the Church of Scientology did not agree to all of those priorities. Given the historical and community interest surrounding this issue, we anticipated a large range of perspectives, opinions, and challenges that brought forth both the community and the council as to what an appropriate deal would look like.
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot to this to unpack. I'm going to let you know, because right now, what we're going to really mainly deal with is just public comment and seeing the outcry of how many people are pissed off. But from here, you have to understand that Jennifer Poirrier, the one that lives in a Scientology building, right? We understand that? She's in this Scientology building, and she's working with Scientology to give them a road for $1.375 million. But let's hear what the people have to say. And trust me when I say this, they're pissed off.
Yes, I have that filled out. Can I turn it in right after?
Sure.
Okay. Good to see you all. I think everyone watching these proceedings is somewhat surprised to watch in real time while the biggest cheerleader of this project in the council, Ryan Cotton, just found out tonight that Scientology is not even paying us $1.3 million for another 6 years. It's unbelievable. I have seen your email responses to some of the citizens that have emailed you their concerns about this, and you are suspiciously in favor of this project, a project that no one in Clearwater wants. Scientologists are less than 2% of the population. There's about 1,500 Sea Org members. There's about 1,000 public Scientologists. In all of Tampa Bay, you couldn't scrape up 4,000 Scientologists, but you're running around like building L. Ron Hubbard Hall is going to save downtown Clearwater. Ryan, it doesn't make any sense what you are out there doing. Mayor Bruce Rector, thanks for voting no on this. Lena? Yeah. At one of the recent hearings, the mayor of Clearwater said he is still not even clear why Scientology wants this street. How can 3 council members be voting yes when the mayor isn't even clear why Scientology wants this street? And you've both, Lena and Bruce, you have both already made it clear. You already know they don't need the street. Not selling them this street does not prevent them from building LRH Hall. It's got nothing to do with it. So why do they want it? I truly agree with Mark Bunker. They want it so that protesters can't stand on the sidewalks in front of LRH Hall. Ryan, you talk about treating Scientologists like any other member of the community. Is there any other church in this community that has gone to war and tried to sabotage the development of downtown Clearwater? So whereas Scientologists should be treated with the same respect and the same rights as all other members of this community, the Church of Scientology is not just another member of this community. It is a toxic, dangerous, and destructive force, and everyone who spent any amount of time downtown understands this. But for some reason, you like their shiny video. It's truly incredible. You talk about the construction benefits of LRH Hall. That's a one-time benefit. Whatever economic trickle-down effect there is, that's a one-time benefit. You seem to be under the impression that building LRH Hall brings more Scientologists to Clearwater. Do you not understand the role of the flag land base in the greater world of Scientology? Every Scientologist who's going to come to Clearwater already comes to Clearwater. Believe me, LRH Hall changes absolutely nothing. Scientologists don't even use Scientology's properties that are so-called open to the public. The park where the Checkers used to be. Have any of you ever seen a single Scientologist in that park? Nope. I haven't. The gorgeous park next to the Fort Harrison Hotel. It's beautiful. Have you ever seen a single Scientologist in there? No. If the Scientologists won't even use these properties, what do you think the people of Clearwater are going to do?
Thank you, sir.
I think you have a card.
Yes. Lisa Welch-Spriggs, if you can raise your hands. Okay. And Elizabeth Grayson. Thank you. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening again. The reason I'm here, first I'm going to give you a history lesson. I had a one-on-one meeting with David Miscavige over a decade ago. And he had in the room with him a nationally recognized retail developer. And he had beautiful pictures of what he was going to create on Cleveland Street because he was tired of having to bus his people, his visitors, over to Hyde Park in Tampa. But part of that meeting was we were negotiating the purchase of the CMA property next to the old City Hall so that the city ultimately can develop the bluff as you guys are moving forward with. And in that meeting, David pounded on the table and he says, "Damn it, Hoyt, I want that property." I said, if I were in your shoes, I'd want that property too, but I pounded the table and I said, but damn it, David, I want it too, and I'm going to buy it. And we, as a council, bought it for $4-point-something million, if I recall. And what did David do? He took his ball and ran home. He claims, Scientology claims, that they're community partners. Community partners don't only do things that benefit themselves. They do things that benefit the entire community. Owning block after block of property that stays vacant month after month and year after year is not a community partner. So what I'm urging you to do is, I'm not saying don't sell this property to the church ultimately. What I'm saying is don't do it tonight. Don't commit to it tonight. They need to show that they are community partners because they need to do things. Where is that plan that he was going to do? He was going to make Cleveland Street look like Hyde Park in Tampa with quality retail and quality restaurants. We got a couple of quality restaurants. We got nothing else. 10 years later, well, we have more vacant buildings that they have purchased. So it's time to hold their feet to the fire for a change and say, show us something. Show us you're going to develop Cleveland Street and put that quality retail in there that all citizens of Clearwater can benefit from and would probably take advantage of. But until they do that, I would not give them this. They want this because it's on, my understanding, it's on the west side of their building is their entrance into this structure they want to build. And they want to have a more landscaped and pretty entrance into their building. I don't blame them, but they got to show us something. They need to show you something. So if not, let them have a street and some parking spaces in front of their building. Because, like I say, what they do build looks great, but how many people in this room can walk into any of them just for the hell of it? Nobody. Nobody. So it is time for them to step up and be the community partner they claim they are. Because the other part of it is, what they're building is an entertainment venue. My question is, when they build it, is it going to be strictly for their use? If it is, no problem. But you need that in writing. Because if they're going to get Live Nation to come in here and put entertainment in there and compete with the 2 entertainment venues the city already has, we're losers on this deal. So I urge at least one of you, but I think all three of you changing your vote and presenting a 5-0 vote to Scientology on this issue tonight would send a much stronger message, because they've claimed for 40 years that they're community partners. I've lived here for 66 years, almost 67. They've not shown very many times other than showing up at some events. But I don't know anybody in here, I know none of you, I know I would never buy a building to let it sit vacant. If I'm going to buy a building, I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to do with it after I buy it. I'm going to be right down to the city's planning department asking for a permit, and I'm going to make it into what I want it to be. So don't postpone this vote. Vote no. I'd rather you vote no. But make them show a partnership with this city and a commitment to this community before you do this, because that's what the citizens of Clearwater deserve. Thank you.
I know we're not supposed to applaud Mark Bunker, by the way.
One second. Don Temeter, are you here? Don? Where? Okay, thank you. And Patty? Thank you. So you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I really have to thank Hoyt for that history lesson, because it's extremely important. You know, the council, when they said no in 2017, Ms. Cabbage said, all right, I'll wait for the next council. The next council, he got me. And he said, I'll wait for the next council. Now he has you. That video that you loved, Ryan, that beautiful video that if only the public could see this video, they would love having the L. Ron Hubbard Hall here. There's a reason Ms. Cabbage doesn't show that to the public, because it says L. Ron Hubbard Hall on it, and he knows the public here don't like Scientology. You know, there's another very, very beautiful video, very similar to that. I'm sure the production value of the LRH Hall is just as great. You can see that one right now. You can go to Cleveland Street Alliance, and there's a video there about how 3 buildings on Cleveland Street are being restored. And it is remarkable. It's such a well-produced video. Nowhere in there does it say Scientology, or L. Ron Hubbard, or David Miscavige. But he's the one who snapped his fingers to make that happen, to try to get something from the city. And that is a front group that he created expressly to hide the fact that Scientology's involvement in those buildings is what is making that happen. I would urge you not to sell the street. Miscavige didn't go halfway with you, it appears. You had things you wanted in the deal, and he said, nah. I would say this to you. Miscavige doesn't need the street. He doesn't. He wants the street. Personally, I think it's so he can stop any protests in front of L. Ron Hubbard Hall. And for him, $1.3 million, that's chump change. He's happy to pay that. And frankly, it's an insult that he's paying market value, because you know all those buildings he secretly bought up after 2017, when the city was bold enough to say no to him. He paid 2, 4, or 6 times market value for those buildings he's been leaving empty. No problem there, but with the city, I'll give you market value. In fact, I'm not even going to give it to you now. Down the line, I'll probably give it to you. Can't guarantee it. If he wants to stop protests in front of L. Ron Hubbard Hall, all he has to do is get an event permit. So on those nights, nobody can protest. The rest of the time, Councilmember Teixeira, Mr. Mayor, and all the other citizens who use that street on a regular basis will still be able to use the street. There's nothing really in it for you to give Miscavige what he wants. You know, as I said, I think Miscavige is trying to stop protests. We just saw a protester last week get arrested. Erica was arrested and spent a night in jail, and she's been protesting from the exact same spot for 14 months, and it was not a problem. So I hope this is not any type of crackdown on protests. I don't think it is, but I hope it's not. Let me ask you this, because this is my real concern. Say Miscavige comes through with everything that he promised back in 2017, and he's going to build up all the buildings downtown, make them look gorgeous. He's going to put businesses in them. What happens if a business fails? Does Miscavige have to put another business in, and another business? What if all of them fail? And Miscavige looks around and goes, we made a pretty downtown, and no one wants to come down here. I wonder why. And decides, let's just tear down all those buildings and let's build expensive condos for wealthy Scientologists. They can live right next to Flagler. They can walk over and do their auditing, and then another block away, they can go to the L. Ron Hubbard Hall and listen to Miscavige drone on and on for 3 hours before jumping to their feet and shouting, hip, hip, hooray! That is what I'm worried is going to be the future of downtown Clearwater. The people of Clearwater do not want a downtown Clearwater controlled by Miscavige. That's what the council in 2017 said. It's true today. So I urge you, do not sell this street. It's the city streets. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a place. If you want to speak, I think there are a number of you. If you just line up over here, and we'll just take it one by one. And again, as we said earlier, if you don't have a comment card, please fill it out and give that to the clerk before or after you speak. Thank you. Mr. Haluba?
I'm Mr. Haluba. This is a very bad idea. Sets a very bad precedent. Now, there was, once upon a time, let's say a woman being pursued by, let's say, a man for unseemly and amorous reasons. The lady rejected all of the increasing monetary offers to sell herself until a tentative agreement was made for several $1,000s. Then the offer was reduced to $50. The lady retorted angrily, "What do you think I am?" Well, the answer was and remains, we've established that. Now we're just haggling over price. The blocking off of Garden Street is a very bad idea. It's a bad idea for many reasons. It will only ultimately result in another vacant building. This in no way will endear or promote downtown to the general public. It will prove Clearwater is subservient to and caters to a small and shrinking subset. This action will further debase and undermine downtown. Don't be hoodwinked by some slick video, Mr. Cotton. Reject this proposal. Wake up, Mr. Albritton. Wake up. Don't sell the citizens out. Mr. Menino, your argument for this proposal is just full of suspicion. Don't sell us out. Some things, like honor and respect, should never be for sale. Don't abandon your values. Don't be exploited. Don't be persuaded to do something that's wrongful. Don't sacrifice your principles. Don't bastardize the privilege of being an elected official. Don't sell your souls to the devil. Vote against this proposal.
Thank you. Yes, next speaker, please. Yeah.
John, I think they gave me an extra minute or so.
1 second, sorry. I don't have anyone on the back of the card.
That's all right. I'll get it done in 3 minutes. What's up, everybody? Why would you sell a public road to a child trafficking cult? Also, this lady named Erica, for 15 months, has been protesting with a sign by the pizza place for 15 months, and one day Castellanos and Officer Wright, conspired and caged a peaceful woman for free speech. Ah, free speech. That's the reason we came here in the first place, right? It stinks to high heaven, or of a payoff or retaliation from Scientology. You all voted to get rid the city of free speech, and it just seems like the shit ran downhill to the PD. How can a peaceful woman be abducted by gunmen from the Clearwater Police Department, and none of you care? The reason Scientology wants the road is so they can suppress speech of protesters. The same First Amendment that gives Scientology the right to practice their cultish beliefs are the same First Amendment rights that allow protesters. And if you sell them in the street, they're going to make it private and kick everybody else off. I heard that Poirrier is affiliated with Scientology. Is that true? Any truth to that? Make that face. You could have shaved $1.375 million off the Clearwater $25 million budget and made just as much money immediately. You're not even good at business. Why would you not shame a cult out of here that's been involved in so much crime? Do you guys not watch TV? Do you do any research about anything? That's all I have written down, but, like, why would you vote for that, dude? Why? 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 They are a cult that commits crimes. It's well documented. Do you not know that? You're selling yourselves out like whores for $1 million. You could have easily shaved off somewhere else. Wake the fuck up!
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Eyes on the state. For decades now, we've watched as Scientology has slowly and deliberately taken over our city's core, often through secretive purchases and front groups, hollowing out what should be a thriving downtown. Businesses have closed, public spaces have disappeared, and the life of the city has been drained away. And now, instead of stopping this trend, instead of standing up for the people of this city, the city is giving away even more public land. A public street. Once that land is gone, it's gone forever. Do you honestly believe the sale will benefit the residents in any way? That it will build back any of the businesses? That it will restore the downtown to what it should be? No, it's not going to do that. The truth is, every time you give in, every time you hand over more of the city, you make it harder for the city to recover. The sale is not about growth, it's not about progress, it's about control. A single organization with a long history of operating in secrecy and shutting out the public is being handed even more power in the heart of the city. It's a betrayal, it's a slap in the face to every resident who wants a downtown that they can actually use, visit, and enjoy. And let's be honest, if this deal were truly in the best interest of the public, why has so much of it happened behind closed doors? Why is there always a lack of transparency when it comes to these decisions? The people of Clearwater deserve answers. More than that, they deserve a city that prioritizes its residents over a private organization that has already taken far too much. Do the right thing. Just don't do the easy thing. Don't sell it.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else want to speak on this?
Hi guys. Clearwater, bright and beautiful Beta Church, because the beaches are never something they talk about when they visit. It's always the church. Church of Scientology, where does one begin? Imagine myself being under the age of 16, riding my bicycle in downtown Clearwater. taking a break on the sidewalk across the street from the church when all of a sudden the church starts taking pictures of me. They start talking about me on the radio. They start describing me down to the exact color of my shoes. They try to get me to go across the street to their security office so they can continue to take pictures of me and my friends. The security guy identifies himself as a Clearwater police officer. This is my childhood trauma of dealing with the Church of Scientology. I was less than 15 years old at the time. This happened in the mid-90s. What's happened since then? Nothing. Take the Mega Powers, the Superpowers building as an example. How long did that project take to build? It was just a hole in the floor or a hole in the downtown area for how long before you guys finally pushed their buttons and developed that? I'm sure that was a popular transient hangout back in the day. But let's go ahead and fast forward to the circa 2020s. I took a friend over to Emily's recently within the last 5 years, sat down, ate breakfast, and I said, hey, let's go take that walk. Guess what? Less than 3 times going around that building, there they are on the roof again. There they are on the radio again, identifying me. Every article of clothing I'm wearing. I said to my friend, let's get out of here. I'm not dealing with that anymore. What part of this is normal? I can walk around any other building, non-Scientology owned in the city, with maybe the exception of the police department, and not worried about getting threatened or harassed or anything like that because it doesn't have anything to do with them. Why is that? I might not ever get the answers, might not ever get the apology that I am looking for, but as a child growing up in this area, that was my issue with the Church of Scientology.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
This is for 7.2. I'll be quick here because I'm going to give you 5 minutes later on. My name is Mike Mastroserio. I just found out tonight 2 different things that I wasn't aware of. One, that we weren't getting any money until who knows when, at least 5 years or so. And then I found out about a new proposal that was new on the table, where you can get money sooner than that. And I want to stand here and I will donate $30,000 to that project if you'll give them the time to raise the money and to look at the thing properly. So you need to really look at it and say, do we want to wait 5 years for this money, or do we want to listen? You know, I hear that we say things like we represent all our constituents. You've got a room full of constituents here.
And there wasn't a single Scientologist in there speaking on this, or David Miscavige.
And you got 100,000 constituents out there. And if you would have put this to a referendum, they wouldn't want that because you know darn well it would have went down. But we will not talk about that because it's not. But we do is we want to say, please make the right decisions. This is about the sale of it. This is 7.2. I'll be back up about the vacation. But I will say this. I want to thank the council before us. Bill Johnson was here. Roy Hamilton was here. Mark Bunker was here. Lena Teixeira, Dave Albritton, and the mayors and councilmen for years in the past who stood tall and fought against this. I want to thank you for that. But I also want to make sure that your legacy to go forward has to be thought about. So please, again, what you could do for the black community, what you could do for the city of Clearwater, it's a win-win situation. And if it's money, we can raise that money. So I just want you to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you for patiently waiting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. State your name. I start when you start.
Oh, sorry. Okay. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much. Good evening, Council. Slowly, quietly, and methodically, piece by piece, bit by bit, a group that does not trust us, does not value us, and does not want us here is buying up our businesses and our land. This is not about just real estate. It's about changing ownership. This is about control. A cult has been working behind the scenes, acquiring property one lot at a time. They don't want to be part of this town. They don't want to be neighbors. They want to push us out, to isolate themselves, and to create a world where only they exist. They're doing it in the most calculated way possible through money, secrecy, and through slow, quiet displacement. Slowly, the heart of this town is being replaced with something unfamiliar, something controlled, and something dangerous. Why? Because they fear us. They fear the outside world. They fear anything that challenges their beliefs. And so instead of engaging with the town, instead of living among us, they have chosen to remove us through silent strategic takeover. This is not paranoia, it's reality, and the evidence is all around us. Just look at the property records, go look at the empty storefronts. Look at the once vibrant streets that now feel eerily quiet. I'm here to ask you not to sell the street to Scientology. I speak as a resident of Clearwater and the daughter of a Scientologist. It doesn't matter that they build pretty green spaces. They are quite lovely, but they're empty. Scientologists aren't allowed to enjoy those spaces, and us, the town folk, we're not allowed to enjoy them either. They'll call the cops on us. So I'm asking you, please, don't sell it to them. Don't give our town away to the cult. And I say this as someone who was part of the group. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah, no, I see it. No, I only need one. Okay. Oh, okay. Jessica?
She's there now.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. She got the kids, that's why. So it looks like I have 5 minutes now. So
You have four. You have 4.
From the.
You have 4 minutes.
Oh,
You got one person?
No, I got 2.
Oh, this person as well?
Yes.
Erica
Erica.
Escamilla? Okay.
Yeah.
So you get
She's
4.
doing the
5.
Cinco de Mayo festival. So she's part of the events group. I'm here not only to represent myself, but to try to represent the community. I know I might not say things the most eloquently or the most politely, and I apologize for that. But I want it to be apparent of what we're speaking of. If
if it is untimed patriot, like Ryan Cotton just said, give us an opportunity to raise funds because we will raise it. I've never let you guys down before, and if I say I'm behind something, I tend to do it. So if it is about a monetary gain, that is an increased price. If it is about your constituents, like McManino constantly says, your constituents are here. They speak for us. They speak louder in voice in many that they don't want it. If the presence was true and you want to represent constituents and they wanted this, then the downtown would be full. And I'm here to tell you the downtown's full. It's not. It is full because, and if people opposing it were so detrimental, then I would be out of business. Scientology, they're great people. I have customers, I have friends that are. They're a population of about 8,000. 500 of which might have monetary means to be able to go out and support the downtown. You're supporting a small, isolated group that cannot develop the downtown by itself. So I'm asking you guys, as people who represent your constituents, vote with your constituents that can fund the downtown. It is time for us to wake up from this illusion and to see things clearly as they are. Don't overcomplicate things, make things simple. And the simple answer tends to be the right answer. If the community wanted it and people were for the downtown would be packed. If it is about monetary gain, allow us to propose an offer to increase the coffers of the city. If it is about community, then this is about community then. I believe that we have to simplify the argument. Why give more things to a community or to a group that didn't clean their room? Think of it as a child. You're saying that we have this, they will clean up the room if we give them more property. That never works if you guys have had children. You tell them to clean up the room first before you make new deals. We're overcomplicating a super simple issue. And as you've seen, most of your constituents are against the selling of the streets. Most people, and again, simplify the thing, most people have been in support of it. Why are they in support of it? Nonprofit organizations that came up here and spoke that they're heavily funded by this organization. Like, simplify it. Every single person you've had up here have received monetary gains from them. So I'm asking logically, is there a correlation? Well, there must be, right? So I ask you guys now, and I say this as a witness of what's happening to my community, and I'll finish my little speech that I have. I ask you guys to be witnesses in the biblical sense, in the righteous sense, in the community sense of our Clearwater. I say this to all Clearwater citizens. Clearwater, it's time to wake up. They want to sell a public street downtown. It's not just land. It's not just pavement. It's a piece of our city that will be gone forever. And you say, when things are gone, we can't enforce it because, Ryan, you are a libertarian like myself. Private property, like John Locke said, is to be protected. But why would it give more away? Then constitutionally, we can't do anything. So it's not just pavement. I say it's just business. You guys tell me it's just business. It's just development. It's just the road, minimizing its importance, clearly important to the community. It's about access. It's about community. This is a street that I ride my bike every day to go to work to, and I'm sure you guys take the path as well. It's about community. It's about what and who gets to decide what Clearwater becomes. To every citizen, you don't have to be loud, you don't have to be political, you just have to care about your community. If you live here, this is not just me speaking, but I hope it becomes a movement. To every Scientology, I'm here to say you're part of our community, you're part of our city. I'm not asking you to stop believing in what you believe in. I'm asking you to stand with something that's bigger, that is not just so singularly inclusive. To every person in Clearwater, I want them to know that they belong. They're part of our community. This is not an attack against anyone. It's just it's a plea for us to remember what Clearwater could be. It's not about control. It's about presence. And today, you see that people have showed up. So I ask you guys to sit, to stand, to speak with this, to be counted. Because if we lose this piece of city in silence, we lose the rest of it the same way, like we have been losing it. You say this is a new policy, it's a new agenda. You guys won't be here when this project is finished. So what is the olive branch if you're not there to receive it?
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker.
Hi, my name is Braden. I was not expecting to be here at 8:30, but since I am, I would like to say that I personally do not, as a pretty regular kid, care what Scientology is. I think a lot of Clearwater does not care what Scientology is. But unfortunately, since moving here, I've been quite aware of what Scientology is. And just walking through the downtown, you are just, it's put on you. The buildings, the propaganda, the people. I moved here about 7 years ago, and at first, all my friends were super excited for me. They were saying they're going to come visit me in Florida for some Florida sun. Then I moved to Clearwater, Florida. And unfortunately, here we have beautiful beaches, expensive hotels, and nothing within walking distance for us to enjoy. So I have many friends here. They'll come to Florida, but they go to Cocoa Beach. They go to Miami. They even go to Orlando because there's nothing to do here. I believe that giving a road to a religion that many people have been hurt by and even more disturbed by or confused by is not improving the city. Clearwater has a reputation of being weird. Many of my friends out of states, I have friends all over the country, they think of Clearwater, they think of Tom Cruise and Scientology, and that's not a reason for them to come unless they're stalkers. So most people do not come to visit, which, you know, is just, it's silly, but it's also frustrating. I have to go visit them. I believe the road that is being discussed faces the main road towards Clearwater Beach, and I do not believe that the City Council should vote to deter more people from downtown Clearwater, which is what would happen if Scientology builds an objectively strange and creepy monument to their own religion. The current plan for the church involves statues of some sort memorial to their own religion, which is not inclusive to the public at large. It's creepy and boring, and honestly just something that I don't want to have to drive by every time I go to the beach, and I don't think when you look on Google Maps at downtown Clearwater Beach, I don't think people want to see that. I believe that a memorial to a historic figure to remember an important man would draw people to downtown Clearwater, or at the very least, a public park would not make me embarrassed to invite my friends to downtown Clearwater. I hope you will improve Clearwater.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Okay, I promise not to yell. My name's Becca Kay. I have lived in Clearwater since 1970. My grandparents moved here in 1946. So I've seen a lot of changes in Clearwater, a whole lot. And we used to go downtown to shop and go to the movies and go to Moss Brothers, and it was lovely. And I've seen all the changes. I need to preface this by saying I live in a neighborhood. Most of my neighbors are members of Scientology, and they are lovely people. They are very, very nice people. The organization itself, I know a lot more about than I wish I did. In 1975, when they bought the Fort Harrison, about a year later, there was a concert, and it had some jazz musicians, and we were going to go to the concert. We bought tickets, and we're not aware of this. We went inside, and we were going to look around the Fort Harrison because we've always been able to do that. Just walk around, go around the pool, you know. Who was it? Van Morrison hung out in the pool there. The Rolling Stones wrote one of their songs out there by Fort Harrison way back in the day. So we were told immediately at the door we could not come in. We would have to wait till the concert started. And then this happened again in a building that Scientology owned. My daughter was going to do a recital for a dance studio she was in. And my son just said, I'm not coming for the recital. I just want to come in and say hi to my mom for a minute. And they told him he could not come in. So there is a limit to what you can do, where you can go. Like one person said a little while ago, what building you can go into, which Scientology owns, where you can just walk in. None. None, I don't think so. And this will be no different. The LRH Hall, they're not going to have events here that you can walk in, and that the one guy said, you know, oh, I'd like to have an event hall. That's not what this is. And I appreciate those of you who voted no. I'm not going to say anything to those who are, Mr. Albright, come on. Anyway, some of y'all lived here a long time. I can't believe you would have voted for yes. I don't think you should sell a public street. We need our public streets. Thank you so much.
Next speaker.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off. I've got obviously some things to say. You know, we've been dealing with this since I think that Scientology put in for vacation in December. And that's when this whole conversation started between city staff and the elected officials you see here today. And that's where we all decided to, hey, go allow city staff to go and bring back a negotiation. As I said, even at the work session, this started with Scientology wanting 3 properties, not 3 properties. And we, through negotiation, said, listen, let's start somewhere with 1, right?